if you truly want to know what we believe. So no matter how far you've traveled in the wrong direction, the route where you originally wanted to go still exists. I recall a few years ago a song that came out. I think it was about Muhammad Ali, and it was from a movie called The Champ. It was made famous by first George Benson, but the hit record was by Whitney Houston. And the last part of that is so libertarian, I'll share it with you. She said, "I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. To make it easier, let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all." Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. That's very libertarian. That bothers some people, but it's true. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Last phrase. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in love. A nation may lose its liberties in a day and not miss them for a century, Montague said. Eventually, average citizens must come to realize that no government, large or small, is their benefactor. Government is but a means of redistributing personal property and wealth in a manner likely to perpetuate itself and, alas, to reward its close friends. That's the reality. Knowledge will forever govern ignorance. And the people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives, said James Madison. Therefore, this is mine now, knowledge is not power nor potential power. Knowledge is freedom. British historian Alexander Fraser Tytler. In fact, he was Scottish. A great commentary. He said, "A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury, with the result that the public always votes for the candidate promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, always followed by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's great civilizations is but a mere 200 years, and they proceed through the following sequence. From bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from great courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to complacency. Where are we? From complacency to apathy. Where are we? From apathy to dependency, and dependency back again to bondage. Richard Maybury, a famous libertarian author, lives up near the Sacramento area, has written a lot of books. He's written children's books, you may have seen them, called Uncle Eric books. One of his books was called Whatever Happened to Penny Candy. Another one, Whatever Happened to Justice. In that whole incredible book that young people and students and anybody who's interested can read, that's Richard Maybury, Whatever Happened to Justice. He came up with two basic premises that libertarians believe. Number one, do all you agree to do. Number two, do not encroach on other people or other people's property. That's all we're talking about. If there were a commandment in the Bible that were a libertarian commandment. It would say simply, thou shalt not aggress. Thou shalt not aggress. So never let it be said that I told you so. Never let it be said that I told you what to think. My only challenge to you has been to think. And when you do really think, you just cannot deny that you are a slave in America today. And as a slave in America today, you are that as a direct result of your choices at the voting booth. Americans get the government they deserve. So since you are a slave who constantly votes for R's and D's because of some syndrome like the abused child, I ask you to join us. Join us, the slaves who understand our bondage and seek freedom and liberty and justice for all. Not just as libertarians, but as people who really are concerned with this country, who really are concerned with what is happening to us, to our children, to our grandchildren, who really are concerned with our freedom. So let me just finish. I'm a fan of, surprisingly, a jazz fan, but also a fan of the group Chicago. They've been playing for about 40 years. I can't believe they're still out on the charts. And years ago, they came out on their second album with a poem that, to me, is quite poignant regarding what's going on in our life, in our country, in our nation, in our existence. It goes like this. When all the laughter dies in sorrow and the tears have risen to a flood, when all the wars have found a cause in human wisdom and in blood, do you think they'll cry in sadness? Do you think an eye will blink? Do you think they'll curse the madness? Do you even think they'll think, when all the great galactic systems sigh to a frozen halt in space, do you think there'll be some remnant of the beauty of the human race? Do you think there'll be a whimper or sniffle or even a cosmic tear? Do you think that any greater thinking thing will give a damn that man was ever here? So, once again, I'm Richard Boddie. What the heck is a libertarian? They do come in brown and black, because I am one. I was born a libertarian in 1938. So I offer you an opportunity to change what you've done in the past to create some of these issues and join us. Thank you very much.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.